Trinity Library has over 25,000 collections of manuscripts and archives, over 6 million printed volumes. Why should we keep them? How do we keep them? What do they mean? Our research is concerned with a long tradition, and that tradition is associated with the act of writing, of transferring the product of human intellect and imagination on a tangible that will carry it to distant places, to distant times. The book extends, as we know, beyond the life of its author, beyond the language in which it was written, beyond the style of the art, of its content, its cover, its binding, and it acquires new meaning in the process. The book, however, is not just a carrier. It is, we believe, a coherent whole that brings together message and medium. The book is not a box that you open to access its content and throw away. It is part of the content, and that content is complex. The book is rather a home, if you like, poetic metaphors, the home for a story, the story of an individual, of a nation, of an idea. And the book is a social object with a depth of information that is not found in the digital version, the physical presence of books, the sensory and emotional experience of books, the bump into factor that happens through browsing shelves doesn't happen in the same way on screen.
So the research team tries to understand collaborative creativity and literature not just as a solitary and individual activity, but as a complicated social and institutional event.
We are not asked to choose between manuscript, print, and digital text. We're asked to understand how each works and bring out the potential of their interaction.
I think we've got to be a bit more specific than because it exists, therefore we must keep it. We have to articulate more specifically messages that we bring, I suppose, or the ancient world brings into the modern world.
They have a powerful charge, connecting us to named individuals, to social and religious beliefs. They have influenced and continue to influence art and architecture, social, political and philosophical thought, science, literature, fashion, film and popular culture. We are the stewards of the collection. We have the opportunity to ensure they are preserved as intended by their makers and original owners, and to share them with diverse communities through new technologies. When Napoleon brought Egyptian art, sculpture, and the Rosetta Stone to the attention of Europe, the ripples were felt at Trinity College, Dublin. In the 1830s, Lord Kingsborough gifted 14 books of the dead to our collections. These are not books in the conventional sense, rather papyrus scrolls, now framed in the manner of large watercolours. They are rare and they are old, dating back over 2.5 millennia. We hold an example second only to one in the British Museum, and arguably the second most important collection of this type in the UK and Ireland. For me, there is a serendipity about this, as when Napoleon took the French fleet to Egypt, he also took a young soldier, Alberto Bioletti, my great-great-great-grandfather. So our theme is about connections, the connection of collections with science, with conservation, with ideas, with communities, and with individuals.
If you're interested in a subject like women's history, or you're interested in the Irish experience of the First World War, well, we no longer think of either of these things in the same way today as did previous historians who thought they had written the last word on these subjects. And why is that? Because the questions have changed, and to answer them we depend upon the written records of the people who lived through the events that we might want to write about. We can interpret those words any way we like, but the words themselves, the original sources, have to survive so that the next generation of researchers gets the chance to make their own interpretations.
This kind of research sheds new light not only on particular books, but also on collections all over the world.
This is not simply about the fabulous collections we have in the library, the wonderful research collections of tens of thousands of pamphlets, plays, newspapers, prints, engravings. It's about that wider research environment that we have in the library. And a lot of that is down to our ability here to embrace the local, but also encompass the global.
The research is bringing Trinity College into connections with institutions around the world.
We engage with a long and old tradition, but most importantly, we look at the future of this tradition. What is the fate of writing and reading in the digital age?